I don't have a phone tonight, guys, because mine is recording and my other one went missing.
Yeah, she's a big loser. Hello, friends, and welcome back to
What?
Podcast. I'm Alston.
I'm Becca.
And I'm Aubriana. Jason is
A loser.
A bitch.
not feeling well.
And a bitch loser.
But also, not feeling well today.
And he's missing out. I just got microphones. We all have our own microphone this week, and we have one for him.
With a fuzzy windshield.
But I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, and I touched my butthole with your fuzzy windshield.
He's gonna watch this and be like, excuse me.
But he'll be back next week.
Okay, so we are doing r/askreddit, but we're sticking with our spooky theme, and it's parents, what spooky past life memory did your kid utter? And I just thought that'd be kind of interesting because that's usually pretty creepy.
The mic looks like a bow tie.
Not me, but a friend's little sister. The whole family was out for dinner at a restaurant in a skiing village when they recently... Where they've... Oh my god, okay. This. Okay.
He's crashing out alone over here.
Not me, but a friend's little sister. The whole family was out for dinner at a restaurant in a skiing village where they recently bought a cottage near. My friend's little sister, as soon as they walked in, said, "I know this place. My mother and I used to paint here." To which her mother replied, "We've never been here before. What do you mean?" She replied with, "No, my mother from before. We used to paint here all the time." The family was obviously a little freaked out, but didn't think much of it, as she was pretty young and they figured she was just messing around. Later on, though, when talking to the waitress, the little girl again adamantly mentioned how she used to paint there, and the waitress revealed that it in fact had been an art studio for many years in the 1900s, but then was converted sometime in the early 2000s into a restaurant. Needless to say, the entire table, waitress included, got goosebumps and were at a loss for words.
That was creepy.
Damn.
A sketch.
I think it's cool. I really I want to meet a kid that had a past life. I think that's
Same.
so cool.
And the fact that they were being so adamant, like, how can you act like that's not real?
Right?
You can't really, like, a kid's not that smart to, like, joke like that.
No. Or, research beforehand.
Right, like, even if they had a phone.
Most of the time they forget by the time they're double digits.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing a story about a kid, I think, saying he was Abraham Lincoln in his past life and, knew all these weird things that the mom didn't even know, but then looked them up and then they were true.
Dang.
So my daughter talks about her grandson all the time. I thought it was just an imaginary friend, but then a couple nights ago she came out of her room at bedtime absolutely sobbing and said, "I'm sad because I miss my grandson. He lives in my old house in my old neighborhood. She has never lived anywhere other than this apartment." Edit. Totally thought this would get buried. To answer some questions, we have asked her about him, but it's pretty hit or miss on whether she'll actually answer or just think it's a fun game. The other night, after some questions, she told us that he sleeps in a crib and has a white tongue. But when I asked her his name a few hours ago, she said Guga and laughed and laughed. It totally could just be her imagination, but she also told me some weird things about the baby I lost a few months ago, which really makes me wonder if she remembers or knows things we don't.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I don't know, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, how can you, even if it was a nightmare, how is it so vividly a specific, I miss my grandson?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from? They are the grandkid to somebody usually. How would they know? You know what I mean? How could they miss something that would be so far in their future?
And kids normally, if they're playing, they're not grandma and grandpa, they're mom and dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are creepy.
Very. Okay, this one's mine. I had a brother pass away from brain cancer. At the time, we had a cat who was a calico and just sort of knew he was battling something. She was really mean to most people, but with him, she was gentle. He would grab her paws and she would just let it happen. Well, about 3 years after he passed, my parents had another child, another boy. He was about 3 when he told my parents about the white, brown, and black cat that used to let him grab her paws. She had died about a year before he was born.
Aww.
Wow.
So the kid that died from cancer came
back.
back.
So cute.
See, that's the stuff you hope for to hear about. If somebody died early from a bad disease like that, like cancer. That's so cute. See, animals bring people together.
Then the comment is, my son told my parents all about Coco and Boo Boo, described the cats to them. He was 4. My cats Coco and Boo Boo had died 4 or 5 years before he was born. When my mom showed him various pictures of cats we had, he pointed them both out and told her Coco liked to knock things off the table. Coco had a nickname, Princess Knock It Off, because she would knock over anything she could. I didn't have any pictures of these cats myself, so he'd never seen them. I didn't talk to him about them either, because we had other cats now. Coco and Boo Boo were litter mates and a bonded pair.
Interesting.
That's crazy. Oh, this one is like super short, but I thought it was funny. I don't know how old I was, but when I was young, less than 6, I was in the car with my parents and I said something like, "Oh, I used to live there," while pointing at a house we were driving past. Turns out it was my great-great-grandmother's house.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's
interesting.
Were you one of the the great-great-grandparents, or like a kid of theirs? Or...
Yeah.
That's crazy. Especially if like you've never seen the house before, but in your brain you're just like, wait a second, that's my house.
I always wonder if I said anything weird like that when I was a kid. Because you hear stories like this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, was I weird and said some weird ass shit? But I don't know much about my childhood. I don't remember shit. I don't know about y'all.
There's like some kids out there though that look like they've lived. We used to say that about, was it Anna? We used to call her an old soul.
I think so.
Because she acts like she's lived a lot of life for only being 6.
Mm-hmm.
And her brain, like, she's the way, I don't know, she just seems like she's been around for a lot longer than 6 years.
This is from Diddy Kong Racing, though, is the username. When my brother was about 3, back in the 90s, our family was sitting down for dinner, and he randomly said, "Dad, remember when I lived in Spain? We're from the UK." And my dad, humoring him, said, "Yeah." And he continued that he lived in Spain before with his other family, but he died when he was on a fishing trip with his dad. And the last thing he remembers is his dad's hand trying to reach him as he drowned. He also reeled off some Spanish names for his parents, which there was no way he would have known those kind of names. And he started to sort of meditate in his room from time to time. He eventually stopped talking about it as he got a little older and doesn't remember anything about it anymore. Crazy to hear so many other people have similar experiences.
Those are the most insane stories, are the ones where they remember dying. Like, they remember their death. That's like
yeah, that's creepy. The last thing you remember is your dad trying to reach for you as you drown. Like, that's just heartbreaking.
I wonder if that's like why when people have like head trauma or seizures, they wake up speaking a different language.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Because that does happen.
Because, like, in a past life, they might have been, yeah. A lot of kids, too, like, or a lot of people, I think they store, like, you learn Spanish in school. Mm-hmm. I think they store that in the back of their heads. And then when something happens like that, like, the brain, oh my God, is so insane. It's insane how much knowledge we have in our brains that we can't even tap into.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, and each section of your brain does something different. Like, the part of my brain that makes my fingers move is a different part of my brain than the voice reading inside of my head. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. If I was better at math, I would go to school to be a neurologist or a brain surgeon or something.
Yeah, I wanted to do doctor stuff, but
I would never get past the math classes.
Exactly. I'm not good at math. I'm pretty good at science and stuff, but math?
I'm terrible at math and science. I suck at. I was always good with, like, English and languages, like Spanish and art classes and things like that, but I was good in social studies even, but math and science, I almost failed every time.
I was good at all my classes.
Bitch.
I was pretty good too. Because math, I struggled really hard. That's when I was sitting at the table with my parents for hours trying to figure it out.
If we get to that point with Addie, I'm hiring a tutor.
I think you'll like this one.
Ooh.
My daughter is about to turn 4 and talks about being in a belly a lot. She recalls details and things I did while pregnant that I know I haven't told her or talked about. She talks about the day I rode the school bus to the mini town. I took my students on a field trip when I was nearly 9 months pregnant to a mini city play place. She tells me it was dark and she heard my heart and heard my voice.
Whoa.
Weird. I saw another story that was talking about a kid remembering, like, how it was warm in the womb and cold out of the womb.
Oh my gosh.
The brain is a weird place, I swear. Like, I guarantee we have those memories of us being in the womb and being born stuck in our brain somewhere. And
Right.
some kids can just, like, tap into that shit. That's gotta
It'd
be
be
so
weird to
creepy.
remember.
Like, I don't know how it would feel. I guarantee a lot of parents, like, brush it off. Like, they're just making jokes. Because I feel like that's easier than accepting the reality that your kid might have had a past life.
Yeah.
Past lives, while it's cool, it also makes me sad because if past lives are real, like, your kid who has this memory, like, died at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
And I do feel like I read, like, the one that I read, like, they die young.
Yeah.
Usually that's something, like, that's what they remember. Like, it's not about usually being super old and passing.
I was the child in this case. I don't remember any of this, but when I was 4, we traveled to Ireland to visit my dad's grandparents. We were walking through a shopping area when I started yelling about wanting to see the train and ran into a shop. My parents ran in after me as I was going nuts about some train. There was no train, it was a clothing store. The woman working there asked my parents what I was doing as I was just running around frantically. I finally yelled, "The train!" I had found in the back of the store a framed newspaper clipping from the 1940s of the front window of this shop when it was a toy store and there was a big model train set up.
Whoa.
That too, I feel like their past lives are from so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right, especially if their memories are from being kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, if you died as an old person, that could be like
Decades
70
ago.
plus years ago.
I swear on my life, you guys, and it just proves it even more from when we did the ghost stories. Kids are so creepy.
Mm-hmm. This one is pretty short too. My middle son used to talk about having a different mom before me. He would say she was blonde and looked nice, but wasn't nice. He would bring it up randomly and only ever got a bit emotional when he would tell me that when he was with her, he never got to grow up. He said he chose me to be his mom this time because I would let him grow up and get old. When he would say the last part, it was as if he was looking for reassurance. He'd ask me, like, right, Mom, I can grow up this time, really fucked me up sometimes.
Do you think his past life mom murdered him?
Yeah.
Damn, that's sad.
so sad.
Oh my god. That's, like, the worst, to, like, remember stuff like that. Like, at least I would wish if you remember your past life that it's, like, good things.
Yeah.
Not having a mean mom. That's, like, the way he said it. Not having a mean mom that didn't let him grow up.
Right. And the fact that he would say she looked nice but wasn't. Like, that's just sad. Yeah, that would fuck me up too if I was a mom. Like, you're gonna let me grow old, right? Like, yes. What? Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. That gave me the chills.
Mm-hmm. One of the comments was that was the creepiest thing I've read so far. I see why they said that.
I was about to read that one.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
That was a really good one. I couldn't imagine my kids saying that. Like, that would be devastating. Even if it was in a past life or whatever. Like, to think that at any point in their existence somebody treated them like that.
Yeah. I agree.
I used to watch my nephew when he was about 3 or 4. One day he was at my house and pointed to a magnet of Arizona. It had a picture of the desert and rock formations. Kid pointed at it and asked where it was. He said he used to live by red rocks like that with his first family, who all had straight dark hair. His hair is blonde and curly now. And that he had a mom and a dad and he had a brother until he went too far into the desert, too close to dark, and got eaten by not dogs, not wolves, but smaller. I said coyotes, and he kind of mouthed the word and said, "Oh, that's what you call them." And then he was sad and didn't want to talk about it anymore, so we had lunch, and that was the first and last time he mentioned it.
Oh my gosh.
That one's sad.
Damn, his brother got eaten. What the hell?
That's so sad, the fact that, like, oh yeah, I walked too far away and got eaten. Again, like, it's just so sad when they remember shit like that.
Yeah. I have one to leave us on a positive note.
Okay.
Okay, good. Good.
Okay. One of my preschool students said, "What do you want to do when you're a kid again?" And I said, "Well, grown-ups don't become kids again. We grow up and stay grown-ups." And she said, "Well, I remember when I was a grown-up and I drove a car and now I'm a kid again." And then the comment says, "Someone taught my nephew from when he was 4 that whenever an older person said they didn't believe in reincarnation, that he should say, 'It's okay. I didn't believe it either when I was your age.'"
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine all the kids? Oh my god.
I just
Maybe
can't.
that's. What if when you're like really stupid, it's because that's like your first life or your second life. But if
People
you're
say-
really intelligent,
that
you've
was-
lived to like 10 lives.
That was
Yeah.
so Phoebe Buffet off of Friends was very like she believed in reincarnation, and Joey was brand new. Like Kit was his first life. He hadn't been around the block. He was brand new because they were all talking about like, oh, this is your however many lives or whatever, and then Joey's like, well, what about me? And Phoebe looks at him and goes, "Oh, sweetie, you're brand new." Okay, so that begs the question: do you guys believe in reincarnation?
Yeah.
And do you want to be reincarnated?
I don't know.
Depends. Depends.
With the state of the world right now, I kind of do, to see a better state of the world.
Right. I hope I like pop up not in America.
That would be nice. We live in such crazy times right now. It would be kind of cool, I guess, if I was reincarnated to talk about it. Like, could you imagine how crazy it would, like, we're living through wild times. Oh yeah, I remember when blah 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 happened.
It sucks that it seems like a lot of reincarnations, like, they're kids that talk about it, and people don't take kids seriously, and then the kids forget about it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if, like, adults could talk, like, you could talk about it as an adult and be like, yeah, I've been through this, because I feel like history books would be much different if people who lived in those times could come back and tell you about those times.
Yeah.
Instead of just reading the research and stuff, like getting true first-person experience. I don't know. Yeah, I think personally, I'd want to be reincarnated if I could be reincarnated to a nice time where the world isn't on fire.
I agree. Maybe we'll be able to buy a house.
Bring me back when mortgage rates are low.
Right.
And
when the housing market is booming.
And you actually make a livable wage.
Yeah. Minimum wage is up. Yeah.
Anyway, wow, that got depressing.
That's it for Tuesday's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
What?
Back with the harmonizing.